What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the latest physique update from Nick Walker. He's now less than 4 weeks out of the New York Pro. And you can see that lots of changes are happening. And his diet phase is also coming in really well. And you can just see that his V-taper is looking so much better. And I have to say, it seems like his coach Matt Jensen and him are pushing extremely hard for the conditioning here. And from the looks of this update, it seems like he is almost there. You can also see the vascularity creeping all the way up to his midsection, and his skin is also getting super thin, with almost 4 more weeks to go. And we know conditioning wise he is gonna be spot on. Now that being said, let's just hope that these guys do not push as hard as they did for his last show, which was the Arnold Classic 2023, which was definitely the best conditioning of his life. But that also came at a cost, which was losing a bit of sweep and a bit of size on his legs. So getting that extra crispiness, especially in comparison to the Olympia 2022 look, I have to say that wasn't worth the trade, especially against guys like Samson Dauda and Andrew Jacked, who have massive quads and also who have extremely impressive V-taper. And that was one of the reasons why he lost that title to Samson Dauda. Now provided that a competition here at the New York Pro that isn't close to what he had at the Arnold Classic last year, but Tonio Burton has some amazing quads, and so does Quinton Beastwood, given that Quinton actually competes at the New York Pro. But we also have to keep this in mind. This isn't the same Nick Walker. This is an improved version. This is gonna be a new look. He will be a lot better than the last time he was on the stage. So a few people thought that the hamstring injury is gonna hold him back, especially from the legs training, and he won't be able to train as hard as he should. But that hasn't been the case. So far he hasn't faced any issue throughout this prep. Overall, I am extremely excited to see Nick Walker back on the stage. I mean, he is one of the most exciting guy in the men's open right now. He obviously is gonna be the standout guy at the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing. And I am really looking forward to seeing him on the stage with some of the best in the game, especially his comparison with Derek Lunsford. Because we have seen him say this so many times, that he's coming for Derek Lunsford at the Olympia this year. Now since we are talking about the New York Pro, let's talk about Stuart Sutherland aka Beef Stew. He should definitely be mentioned here, as he is one of those guys who made it official pretty early that just like 2023, New York Pro is gonna be his first show of the year as well. And for those of you guys who do not know, Stu was the runner-up at this show last year against Tonio Burton, and he looks very much detailed right now at 4 weeks out of the show. And he was overall in a very good condition last year as well. He really gave a tough competition to Tonio Burton last year. So ideally Stu would definitely want to have more adductors, but other than that, he looks very balanced top to bottom. And his back looks absolutely insane in his recent update. So this update was posted today, so about 3.5 weeks out of the show. And his V-taper in his recent abs and thigh shot, that is looking so damn good. So all of us knew that Stu isn't gonna win this show, but even a top 3 finish here against this lineup, that is gonna be a job well done. And that is not a talk down on Stu, it's just being realistic, especially looking at the competition now. I am very sure that he is gonna do the California Pro as well, which is gonna be just 1 week after the New York Pro. And let's just not forget, it isn't only Nick Walker, Tonio Burton and Quinton. Martin-Fitzwater, the Detroit Pro champion, is also bringing the heat here in 4 weeks time, as he is also turning out to be one hell of a competitor in the open division. We also saw how amazing his improvements were, the improvements that he was able to make in the last 1.5 years. And safe to say that all that time that he took off, that was well worth it. So he is posting more recent updates on the road to the New York Pro. Now if we look at Nathan Diesha and his run with Stefan last year, he wasn't able to hold on to that same conditioning show after show. Nathan was pretty damn good throughout the European tour, but I still believe that his best was Italy Pro. That was his first show of the season, and that was also his first show with Stefan. So the reason I'm mentioning that is because Martin is also working with Stefan now. So it is going to be really interesting to see how well Martin peaks for this one, because it has surely been a long diet for him. Because in his original plan, he was getting ready for the Arnold Classic Ohio. So he has done like 6 weeks of additional diet already. Next up we have the guest posing of a man that we all miss at Detroit Pro, James Hollingshead, rocking the stage in Sweden. And he looked absolutely massive. He brings the size as well as the freak factor, especially in the guest posings. And the audience absolutely loved him. And the way he blew up in just 2 weeks. Because if you guys remember, he was dieting really hard even up to that Detroit Pro weekend. And now he is weighing 270 pounds. So James hasn't been able to squat for months now, but his legs haven't lost any size. I mean, he was so impressive at the Arnold Classic Ohio, especially his look at the prejudging. that if he did not reveal that he was suffering from any injury, no one would have ever noticed that. So James is really proud of making top 5 at this year's Arnold Classic. But what excites us fans the most is that he went through a lot of trial and error, peaking for that show, and there is a lot of unfulfilled potential in that physique, which will surely be revealed in the future. So right now James isn't planning to compete anytime soon, and the reason he did not compete at Detroit Pro was a financial one as well. So he has to get stable first, also take care of that injury, and hit the stage sometime later during the year, and try to earn his Olympia spot closer to the Olympia 2024. Guess whose arm is that? Who says Neckzilla only has freaky legs? His arms are looking pretty damn good right now, really impressive. So only 16 weeks till we see Rubiel back on stage, and that is going to be at Dubai Pro, and that too against some of the best in the business, and that is going to be really fun to watch. So only a handful of bodybuilders in the IFBB Pro League are able to get this kind of media attention that Rubiel has got after making just his pro debut, which was at Prague Pro, and he really impressed everyone at that show. Other than him, Horsemdi is another guy who got tremendous hype after making his pro debut in Romania. But he really disappointed everyone at the Arnold Classic Ohio. So let's hope this isn't the case with Rubiel as well, as he's prepping for his second only pro show. And let's just all hope that he can live up to the hype. So Rubiel does have great potential, because guys like Dexter Jackson, they really praised him so much, because he was there in attendance at Prague. So as of right now, we're not really sure how long Chris Cormier is going to train him. So hopefully this is going to be a long training camp, the same way he does with Bjorn Asli every year. Because not only will Chris bring him in an excellent conditioning, but he will also help him filling out the weak areas in his physique. So Rubiel must have a plan B, as the competition at Dubai Pro is going to be very high, and the chances of him winning that show, they are very little. So Quinton also just dropped this update, and I'm guessing this clip is from that same video that we saw a couple of days ago, which according to Quinton himself was a recent one. He did not exactly say how recent, but he said it was definitely from this prep. So if Quinton is actually competing at this year's New York Pro, it is gonna be so exciting, because his comeback is one of the most anticipated one in the bodybuilding recently. And if we just take a look at the comparison that he posted recently, it is just mind-boggling, because this isn't a comparison from like his previous looks. This is a comparison from his off-season versus this current prep. And obviously he is looking a lot leaner, he is looking a lot more conditioned. But the thing that I want to point out the most is that he is actually looking bigger than his off-season. Now we have already established this fact, that Neckzilla is going to win this show. But Quinton's comparison with guys like Tonio Burton and Martin-Fitzwater, that is going to be so interesting. Because that is really going to help us determine on how much improvements he has been able to make in his overall physique in the last couple of years. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.